Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy for the Ages, the show where father and son sit down and talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy stuff we want to talk about. Today, Zach's here to talk in book blast format for about 5 minutes on something he's read, but I haven't. And y'all know I hate spoilers, so you're safe here. He'll drop some comments, so if you've read Republic of Thieves, Gentleman Bastard 3, you'll know what he's talking about. But if you haven't read it yet, this might just give you a taste to decide if you should.
The third book in the Gentleman Bastard sequence is more of the same. So if you didn't like the first two, you won't like the third. That being said, if you did like the first two, I think there are certain things that this book really shines with. There are others that it's just kind of okay. Some of our main characters don't really shine in the way that you want them to. They don't seem as clever and competent as they've seemed in past books, but not for any lack of them, but rather it seems like they've been made less so almost to make someone else shine more rather than letting that person shine in and of themselves. It's a new character to us seeing them, but not a new character to us knowing about them.
Okay.
And we get to see some things in our current timeline, some things in our past timeline, and how some things unfolded in different ways and times that are really enlightening and great for the story. However, self-contained within the novel is just kind of okay. It feels like a great book to build past and be like, hey, I'm excited for what's next. But it was just like, okay, Gentleman Bastards nonsense. That being said, there is an element, a bonding element, if you will, that is very interesting to see more of. And that part is new to see details of in this book. And I was very interested to learn more.
So this could be, in the course of a series, there's often books that are building things for the future that aren't necessarily the epic aspect of the entire series. And I kind of hear you saying a little of that. I mean, it's a good book, but it's not the top of the game.
To me, this book establishes and sets new clear stakes. The first one was a book in and of itself. The second one was coming out of that mess. This one is to set up new stakes going forward.
Are there any other books yet, though? Or is this where it stops right now?
There aren't. There are plans. The author has had a number of difficulties with continuing writing and with how things have been going, their own mental health. And so will we get another? I really hope so. But there's plan for like 7 of these or something. It's a large number.
Yeah.
There's a plan and like loose titles that whole far, even like loose general plans of what it'll be about for that far. But we haven't seen a new one in a number of years. So I'm really hoping, but I'm also not pushing for it because at the end of the day, we're also really technically not owed anything. If this is where it ends, I'm glad I read it. But I'm also not saying this is a need to read. First book is, the rest of the series, maybe wait until there's more books.
It seems to be a challenge amongst the writing community. There are some people out there who seem to have brilliant ideas, but mental health struggles that get in the way of them being able to complete what they thought they might do. And
to be perfectly honest, there's a number of things where I'm like, the fact that you were able to come up with some of this, I'm not that surprised that you deal with mental health struggles, but at the same time, I sympathize and I would love for you to write more. But if you don't, I just hope you're doing what's best for you.
Would you say that this is a worthy sequel to the first 2 books? Or was it too much of a shift, a tone adjustment, and it didn't flow?
No, it fits. It's fair. While there are legitimate criticisms about this book and some of the characters within it, I think the biggest problem is that we don't get to see where they go from here. And so as it stands currently, the issues are what they are, but it doesn't depart from the previous books of the series in a way that makes it no longer worthy of the series.
All right, last question. I like to be able to finish things. Is this one I should be waiting on then until at least there's a 4th book?
You should read the first book in this series. I would not recommend going further for your sake until there is at least a 4th.
Okay, good to know. And there you got it straight from Zach, his recommendations about the Gentleman Bastard series, a favorite series for many fantasy readers. and it's on my TBR. I'll get to it at some point, and this only encourages me to stop after the first book, perhaps for a while.
Oops.
Let us know your thoughts about Zach's thoughts here today. Put them down in the comments or find us on social media. Join our Discord server and chat with us about this and any other books you'd like. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.